The role of sex hormones in reproduction. Secondary sexual characteristics are physical changes that take place in the body. There are also physiological changes that occur in the bodies of human beings, and also mental changes, such that the secondary sexual characteristics are, we talk about them as physical, physiological, and mental changes that occur in males and females at puberty. So these are the changes that occur during puberty. Now, puberty is that period when an individual becomes sexually mature. The changes that occur in both males and females differ. In the males, for instance, these changes are controlled by the hormones, the male hormones, collectively referred to as the androgens. And the commonest of the androgen is known as testosterone. Testosterone is the commonest of the androgens. Androgens are the male sex hormones secreted by the testes. The changes begin to appear at puberty when the pituitary gland secretes the interstitial cell stimulating hormone, which then stimulates the testes to secrete testosterone. The testosterone then stimulates the development of the secondary male sexual characteristics. And this includes, as illustrated here, you can compare the young boy and the mature man. You have growth of facial hairs, which are absent in the boy. So many mature men would have facial hairs, though not everyone. In addition to the facial hairs, you also have increased body hairs, especially around the chest region. And of course, also under the armpit, hairs do develop. Apart from the armpit, there's also growth of the pubic hairs. So other than the growth of hairs, there is broadening of shoulders. The shoulders become broader due to the lengthening of the bones and enlargement of muscles. And the sex organs, the genitalia, become bigger in preparation for a reproduction role. And in most cases, the voice box, the larynx, become larger, thus leading to the deepening of the voice. So these are the changes that take place. You can compare the young boy and the mature man. The physical differences are quite obvious. The man is more muscular, enlarged genitalia, more body hairs, and generally the shoulder becomes broader. In the female, there are also corresponding changes that take place. These changes, which also start at puberty, include development of the mammary glands. They are bigger and more conspicuous in the mature woman than in the young girl. Enlargement of the pelvic girdle or the hip bone, which leads to the widening of the hips. So the hips become broader. If you look at the circumference, the hips become broader. This is in preparation for the birth process. Then, just like in the males, there's a growth of hairs in the pubic area and also the armpit regions. In addition, there's increased deposition of fat, making the limbs, particularly the legs, to be more rounded. And internally, the ovaries mature and start to release the eggs. Externally, this appears as menstruation. When there is no fertilization that has taken place, the uterine wall breaks down and the debris is released as menses in a process known as menstruation. Just like in the male also, one of the secondary sexual characteristics is the beginning of production of the sperms. In the female, there's also the beginning of the production of the eggs, and when fertilization does not take place, then the uterine wall breaks down after every 28 to 35 days, depending on the individual, and this cyclic event is repeated. And whenever there is no fertilization, the thickened uterine wall breaks down, and this is seen as the menses discharge.